Hey everybody, my name is Teresa and this is Love Over Fear, where we talk about foster care, parenting, connecting, and all of those good things. So today I want to talk about finding your why. If you are thinking about becoming a foster parent, or if you've just become a foster parent, it would be very helpful to have a why. Why are you doing this, right? So if you're already a foster parent, you already know this. But if you're thinking about becoming a foster parent, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. You are going to have many a well-wisher who utters the following words to you when they find out that you're a foster parent. Are you ready? I could never do that. Yep, you're going to hear that many, many, many times. And while maybe your lower self might want to say something like, nobody asked you to, Karen, but you're not going to do that because you have a why, you know why you're doing it, and then you can go from that place. Usually those statements are followed by some poorly thought out phrase like, I would get too attached. Whatever that means. We'll save that one for another day. But today I want to talk about your why. Why do you want to be a foster parent? And having reason that's going to be strong enough to help get you through some of the hard times that come with foster care and parenting in broken situations in general. So, okay, here we go. Number one, why do you want to be a foster parent? If your why is something like, I'm going to use what mine was when I started as a good example, because I want to make a difference in children's lives by loving them and giving them a good home. Okay? All right, well, that is a good starting point. Problem is, it's kind of like in business. You know how they say that if you have a mission statement that you can't measure, it's not helpful at all, right? If your goals are not measurable goals, then you're going to have no way of knowing if you are succeeding or not. Having a good mission statement for fostering is a good idea, things that you can measure. So making a difference in a child's life, you actually are not going to be able to know. You're not going to know most of the time what is the difference that you've made in a child's life. Was it good? Was it bad? What are you going to do when you have a situation where a kid comes into your home and then their life just proceeds to fall apart around them, where everything goes from bad to worse and you're just watching this spiral of situations that you have no control over? I will make a difference in a child's life. I want to make a difference in a child's life. It's not going to be strong enough to help get you through that situation. Another thing that is important to think about is that foster care is a family situation, okay? The goal is reunification. You're not dealing with a single entity of one child or one sibling set or whatever it is. You're dealing with a family and a family dynamic. You're also dealing with a court and a caseworker and a guardian and all of those people, which we will talk about in a minute. But just the family part of it, that is the key. That is a crucial part of fostering. So in your why, if you can have something about the family in it, it's going to help you orient yourself in the right direction, because it's easy to villainize biological families. It's easy to be like, oh, I can't believe they would do this. I can't believe this would happen. Oh, they don't even deserve their children. None of that's true, and none of it is. It's really our place as foster parents to make those kind of decisions. We have no idea the kind of things that a lot of these people have went through. Who knows how we would act in those situations? So keeping the family center in your mission from the very beginning is going to help you to have a positive relationship in the way you speak to the children about their parents, about the caseworker, about the situation. You're going to have a more positive outlook because you're family focused instead of just child focused. So maybe something like, for me personally, I actually believe in family. I believe that family is a gift from God, that it should be preserved at all cost, that it should be preserved at most cost, let's say, and that families need each other. And that's something worth fighting for. It's worth healing for. And I also believe that people can heal. And sometimes good enough is good enough, right? Like, You do not have to be the perfect parent to be the right parent for your child. And that is true of biological family members, parents. They do not have to be perfect to be the right fit for that child. So maybe something like, because we want to support families, right? Instead of we want to make a difference in a child's life, we want to support families in healing. Boom. Okay, so what does that look like? What does support families in healing look like? It looks like maybe having a positive, trying to reach out and have a relationship with biological parents. Maybe it looks like being a voice of encouragement. Maybe it looks like advocating for services, for therapies that the kids might need. Creating an environment that's going to facilitate healing and enough space for big emotions and emotions like I'm happy and I'm sad, right? Enough space for those things for healing to be able to take place. These are things that you can create intentionally in the way that you set up your home and your life and the way you view foster care in general. Another thing you can think about is, as far as goals go, what can you actually control, right? You do not get to control the outcome of a court hearing, and you do not get to control the outcome of the kids or the parents, and sometimes you won't even know what they are. And so you can't have a why that's outcome based. Like, I want to get into foster care so that I can grow my family. Well, what happens if you get into foster care and they go back home? You have them for 3 years and they go back home. Those are the kind of things that break foster parents. So if your why is connected to a specific outcome that you're hoping to get, really question that and really look at what is the purpose of foster care. Even if the purpose is reunification, you can't even guarantee that that is going to be the outcome. So avoid whys that are outcome based. The other thing is, I feel like I'm saying the word why so much that it's not sounding like a word anymore. It's so weird. Anyway, okay, what else? What else? Okay, buy, right? Like, buy the things you can't control. So I want to make a difference. Okay, I want to support families. I want to support families in healing, right? Which is what mine is, which is the reason I'm using that as an example. It's not the be all end all of reasons to foster. There's lots of reasons. Whatever, when you work out whatever it is and it isn't outcome based, I want to foster because I'm looking for this outcome. You can flip into, well, how are you going to accomplish that? What is going to be your ways of measuring success? If you want to provide the children with a loving home, right? You can definitely, that's a great place to start. Love is always the right place to start, right? Sometimes love isn't enough. That is a fact of the matter. You're going to also need tools, right? Like, I want to create a safe space for the children. Well, you have to know what they think is safe, because a child who's used to chaos and screaming and door slamming and the TV's on and the radio's on and like all the noise, you go and you have a safe space with peaceful classical music and like a hammock and plants, and they are going to destroy it because that's not safe for them. That's so uncomfortable. Have you ever had to sit with an uncomfortable emotion? Not for the faint of heart. Not fun. I suggest you try it. Pick the one, if you go through your emotions, pick the one that makes you think, no, not that one. And just sit with that emotion for a little bit, and you'll realize how uncomfortable that is, how quickly that is uncomfortable. And so, obviously, if a safe place for your child is in the middle of chaos, you're not going to create the middle of chaos. So, what are you going to do? Maybe you say things like, okay, I want to treat every child as an individual, right? Like, I want to help every child who comes in have their needs met while they're here, right? I want to love every child to the best of my ability, love them like they're my own for the entire time that they're here. Or whatever it looks like. But it has to be something that isn't cookie cutter. You are not going, there's kids out there who are not interested in a loving home. Okay, they're not, they need a loving home. Don't get me wrong. but they're not going to respond well with like, oh, you're my child now and I love you and let me give you a big hug and we're all like a hippity hoppity family. And they're going to be like, I will burn the house down. No, that's not what I'm about. So you have to take every kid where they're at, right? And so whatever you're doing, for me personally, I really like the idea of connect. I want to find a way, every single child that comes into my home, I want to find a way to connect with that child. I want to find a way to encourage that child to do something that's independent, whether it is ride a bike or learn to walk or learn to cook or learn to go to an art class and get better with art or learn to ride a horse. I wanted them to do something that they do, that they learn. I want them to learn a new skill, something they love, something that will show them that, whoa, I can actually do something. And that's pretty cool. That's what I want. I want connection. I want something that they learn to do while they're here. And I want the idea to be that there's space for you however you are. If you are in a place where you're like, I need time alone, then there's space for that. If you're in a place where you're like, actually, I'm going to have to hold on to your leg for the next 4 hours, then there's space for that. And that there's not a right or wrong or good or bad emotions. They are going to come across you and that we are going to embrace all of it. And we'll take it day by day. That's really the mentality that I have in fostering, and what I'm trying to accomplish is that overall sense of family without it being constricting, because it's weird. It's so weird. Foster care is so weird. Imagine being taken out of your bed in the middle of the night, dropped off in another state with no phone, no way of contacting anyone, no idea where anybody you know is, and put with a family and like, this is your family now. Is that not so weird? I mean, I am a halfway sane person and I would not handle that well. I would not be like, oh, cool. Hey, new mom. Like, hey, new daughter. That's not how I would handle it. That's uncomfortable. And so having a Y that actually has enough space for the kids who are going to come into your home, and knowing that starting out, and not having something like, I just want to provide a loving home and I want us to all go on family walks together and I want them to be part of this family culture that's already established, and they're going to come in and they're going to see what it is to be loved, what it is to have enough food, they're going to understand all these things, and then they are going to be like better people because of it. You can't control them. And also, while obviously you're going to do food, obviously you're going to do love, obviously you're going to make sure all of their needs are met, it's easy for us to get an imagining, a picture in our mind of what we want our foster care family to look like, and to create cultures that already exist in our home that don't have enough space to be flexible enough to weave in and out based off of the kids who are in our home and the needs of the kids who are in our home, and still maintain some sort of cohesion. We have biological children, so that's very important for us, is that we have some sort of family culture, family cohesion of things that's big enough to be flexible with new kids coming in and out, but it is solid enough to feel like it's a foundation for the kids who are growing up in our home. And we really work on doing that with connection and with shared experiences and with skill learning, skill building, independence building, resilience building type activities. So that is our why. That's how we got there. I really want you to give some time. Think about this. This is not something, if it is, I want to grow my family or I want to make a difference, really, really think about those things, because when foster care hits you with a curveball, those statements are beautiful, but they are not going to be able to carry you through those hard times. So come up with your why. Really, really believe it. Be willing to sacrifice your life for this. It's a mission, whether you're religious or not. It doesn't matter. What you're doing is, it's in the realm of a mission. And so to treat it that way and give it that space. I hope you guys enjoy the video. I know it was a little bit ranty, but there it is. Why? Know your why. Think about it. Write it down. Write it on a big poster. Put it on your fridge. Good luck to everybody on your journeys. I hope you have an amazing day. Remember that you are loved, you are worthy of good things, and you, my friend, are not alone.